right, well, welcome back to My Living Media Podcast. My name is Paul Gagliardi, president of My Living Media, and I'm here with our director of digital marketing, Louis Cruz. Today, our special guest is Jason Flannery and Kaylin Thomas of Remax of Stewart. Good morning to both of you, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
Of course, it's our pleasure. So, how did you get started in this business? People always want to know how people get started and what they're doing, and you've been doing it quite some time, haven't you?
Yeah, I think this year is year number 22, so it has been quite a while.
Nice.
I'm a second generation realtor, so my father was in the business prior to me being in the business. So I think listening to him, watching, what he did, of course you always look up to your father, so I kind of followed in his footsteps at a little bit later age in life. I followed what he did.
So great. Love hearing it.
So Jason, recently you got this beautiful award here for community service. Can you tell us what that means to you?
So that award means a lot. That's a award given to us from our peers. It's an award that I feel like it's earned. It's not an award that's a traditional award that you would get for service. It's an award, I think, that we went out and supported our community. And as a team, we did a lot of little things with the community to try to show our support and kind of give back to what we've been given. I think our team's been very blessed by our community support. We have a lot of great clients. We have a lot of loyal clients. So I think for us to be able to give back and show that we do appreciate that, and we want to help build our community that we live in, I think that's, I haven't had a better award than that ever.
And your peers know what it takes, to do it. So what an honor. It's great.
I appreciate that. They do. And we work. Martin County Realtor Association who awarded us that award, and I could tell you that's pretty, in my mind, it's a high standard of realtors, salesmen, and community support.
Yeah, people say all the buzzwords about, getting involved in the community, and we are really engaged with our community. We service, all of the Treasure Coast, so we're up and down in every chamber and every community. We try to do as much as we possibly can. So how do you go above and beyond to serve your community? Like, what are the types of things that you're doing out there?
I think we try to fill needs. And realtors are on the ground. Realtors are in front of people all the time. We know when there's a family in need. We know when there's a charity that can use an extra hand. Realtors are the largest pack in the country. So if you put that into thought process of how many realtors there are, and they're in homes and they're in front of the community every day, I think you'll find that there's a lot of opportunities, whether you see them or whether you act on them or whether you can do them is one thing. But I think we look at all of them, and when we're able to help, we help. Again, it's something that's it's a realtor thing. It's not just the Flannery team, or it's not just myself. I think that comes from being a part of this realtor family, that you see other realtors making that example, and then it's contagious, right? Somebody else sees that happening, and the feel good, right? It's a feel. So for us, to be in that position, to be able to help, is a great position to be in.
So with where you're at, with the way everything's going in real estate, what are some trends or some things that you're noticing that people should maybe be looking out for at this point?
So, the market was just, I use this word bananas. My son always laughs at me when I say bananas, but it was bananas, right? People were just buying, and the market was crazy, and you had 17 offers, and houses were going over ask, and it was just, in every market, it's a challenge. If the market's a great market and you're involved in that and you're trying to find your place, it's a challenge. Now we're just in a little bit of a different challenge. We have higher rates. I think our world's in a little different place right now with the uncertainty of what's going on around us. I think we are in somewhat of a bubble in our community and being in Martin County and being this part of Florida, but it definitely affects what people are doing. The interest rates, the house prices are starting to reflect a little bit of the interest rate. So really, I think it's just educating your client, looking historically at what interest rates have done, looking at price points, looking at the trends of where the market's going, and trying to make sure your client understands that when they make such a crucial decision. So again, I just think it's in every market there's going to be challenges. It's just figuring out what the challenges are and assisting your client making the best decision they can.
Are you getting a lot of cash buyers here?
Yes, we have a very good mix of cash buyers. Sometimes you'll have a cash buyer has the ability to close cash, but to make their offer look a little better, they will put cash, but they'll come in with maybe a loan or a small loan, but without the contingency of the loan.
Yeah, my brother's in real estate in La Jolla, and that's really what he gets so much of is cash buyers. Just, God, how'd they keep doing it? Where's all that money come from?
Well, I think our flex is the market is coming from everywhere, right? So we get California, we get Connecticut. I think our western move this year or last couple of years was the greatest I've ever seen. I've never seen so many people from California or Nevada or our western side that we've seen this year. It's been a big push, and I think that coming to Florida has been a move for that side this year more than it has been in the past.
What about even locally here in Stewart compared to the rest of the world? I mean, this is an amazing spot, Stewart. It's just unbelievable. I tell people, hey, how do you like it? I don't like it at all. I don't come. Just stay home. Don't come here. It's beautiful. It's just a great place to live.
It is. So 22 years doing this, I've seen these prices go, fluctuate so much, and they've gone higher. I really think right now where our property values are at is where they should be. A lot of people say, it's unaffordable. I think that the properties are too high. I think that we were undervalued for a lot of years. I think if you want to be in a place like this and you want to live this close to the coastline and you want to have what we have here in this little piece of paradise, sailfish capital of the world, a small city that we have, I think you're going to pay for that. And rightfully so, right? If you live in Beverly Hills, it's one price point versus you live in the outskirts of LA, it's a different price point. Well, welcome to Martin County. I think now that we're on the map a little more, I think that our price point has come to a point where our value is true. So I don't see us having this big value decrease. I think that we finally are at a place where people have realized the value of our area, and they're willing to pay that. It's just tough for the people that have lived there for a long time, that had the values at a certain point that may not be able to afford being in the area. But that happens everywhere, right? I mean, Miami moved to Palm Beach moved, or Fort Lauderdale, and Fort Lauderdale moved to Palm Beach, and Palm Beach moves to Martin County, and the trend continues. Right. And here we are. It's our turn.
And then interest rates, is that having a big effect on business? I know, people talk about it a lot, and I hear a lot of the answers are, well, don't worry, you can always refinance a couple of years down the road, but it has to affect people as they start looking, or they think they're going to wait, or how are you feeling about that?
Well, it is. I mean, your ROIs are changing. You're not buying that investment property. You're buying at 3%, that you're buying at 7.5%. It's changing the numbers. So to go out there and spend that money on an investment, that 4% difference, that 5% difference changes your value. It changes how much you're bringing in every month. So that makes that property not worth the investment. So for investors, that changes that. And then for homeowners, you can only afford so much. So if your budget's $2,500 and the rates go up and now your budget's $4,000, then it takes you out of the market. Yeah. Again, where's the move next? Is the move, Fort Pierce, Sebastian Vero? I mean, with that interest rate, it may move people out of our county, which is unfortunate, but it's a factor.
So what would you say, like we have somebody on our team, Lucy, she's 24, 25. What kind of advice would you give Lucy if she's looking, like right now she's renting, she's looking to buy? Should she pull the trigger now? Should she wait? What should she be looking at?
Well, the saying goes, right? Buy real estate and wait, not wait to buy real estate. I have never seen, I look back in time and I've never came to a point where I've said to myself, man, I'm so glad I sold that. Or I can't believe I really, I'm so glad I didn't hold on to that. Or I wish I never bought that. It's always the opposite, right? It's always, man, if I would have held on to that property all this time, it would have been worth this. Or if I would have bought. So the true statement is, it's easy to say for people, well, you could just refinance, but there's cost to that. So you have to be educated, and that's where you're going to find somebody that's a good advisor, say a realtor, advisor. There's a lot of names you could probably give realtors, and one is to advise your client to say, hey, this is the difference. This is the cost to refinance down the road. This is when you would do it. Would you do it at a half a point? Would you do it at a point? Would you wait for 2 points if it's going to do that? I mean, we've been in a situation where we've had 18% interest rates and the world was falling. The sky was collapsing. But then we dropped down to 3, recently, or 2.5. So I would say if I had a chance to own versus rent, I would own. You're paying 100% interest on your renting, right? So your interest rate on renting is 100%. But your interest rate on buying a house is 7.5 or 8 right now, whatever the rate's sitting at today. So I would say maybe you're not going to get the house you're going to stay in forever, but get in the game and get something. We just had one of our youngest agents, Colton. He's 22. He just bought his first rental property. I think he's 10 years ahead of anybody. How many people are buying at 21, 22 years old? What a great accomplishment. What a game changer for him. What a fast-paced move. So maybe in 4 years, and when everybody else starts buying, he's already into that process. So, very proud of him for that, to jump ahead. Yes, he has a higher rate, but he owns something, and he has a piece of something, and now he's a homeowner. Now he's getting the benefit of tax write-offs, and he's a part of something. So I would say pull the trigger, buy real estate, buy it to where you can afford it, and then if the rates do change, great. You're gonna have excess of money to do other things.
So what sets you apart from other realtors in Stewart, and what do you believe are your unique strengths or qualities that benefit your clients when buying or selling a property in this market?
Wow. So, 22 years of following, or 21 years of following other agents. This is the only organization I've ever, or trade that I've ever belonged to or been a part of, and we train each other to compete. So we meet, and we have classes that we all go to, and we all talk, and we all share our stuff. We all talk about our magazines or our flyers or our media. So there's really no secrets, right? We're training our competition to compete against us. It's really pretty crazy if you think about that concept, right? But again, we're training one another to be better. So when we do deal with one another, we're in a better spot. So to say I have this magic thing that you pick me and I'm going to have that over every other agent, that's probably not going to happen. But what we can do is use my experience. We can use our time. We can use the fact that we have a team, that we have people from different aspects of life and different backgrounds that may be a better fit of understanding somebody. It's a business of relationships, right? It's not a business of who knows. It's a business of building a relationship, trusting who you're working with, understanding their advice, and then growing with them. That's why a lot of clients are 10, 20-year clients, because the trust factor and educating them. So I think that for us, we have staff, we have 10, 11 agents that are willing to help one another. It's very hard to do this by yourself. It's very hard to answer phones and have a client and help them do things and do everything on your own. I learned a long time ago you can only go so far doing it on your own. So I think what separates us is the group of us. I say it all the time, why hire an agent when you can hire a team? You're going to pay the same thing. Why would you do that? When you have the support of a team, why wouldn't you go with that versus go with one person? So I think that's what separates us, is that, and the experience that we have. So I think that would be our step aside. But as far as having something that nobody has, I think we all have it. It's just how do we use what we have?
Yeah, that's mostly everything I do is relationship building, and who I work with when I buy a home, or who I choose to work with, anything in any aspect of my life. It's always the relationship.
So, Jason, with what you do, you've been doing this for a long time. You're great at what you do.
Thank you.
I see a lot of stuff going on. There's print media, there's digital media, doing all this different type of marketing. It seems like you harness all of that. So what would be your go-to? Where would you go with your marketing if you're talking to a new realtor?
Well, I say you have to have a balance. I think that, being a presence on web is very important. I think getting your name out, we're really just trying to get our presence out there so people can see us and then continue to see us. But I think in print media is you have to balance what you're doing. It can't be all online and it can't be all print. It's got to have that fine balance. And I think that you build these relationships. Again, another relationship build is extension of our team would be like a My Living magazine. We work with Kathy at My Living magazine. She's part of our extended team to help us grow, to show us this is a direction to go, explain the consistency. I think that was where our relationship built and grew with My Living Magazine was the consistency. You can't just throw one ad in and expect this thing to come back to you. You have to invest in this. You have to be a long-term player in this. This can't be something, for us, we work on something on a year. We're doing something, let's really give it our all. Let's not throw in a couple little ads to take to our, let's really explore this and see where it's going to come back to us. And then with the help of Kathy at My Living Magazine, will show us, hey, this is where it's going. This is the people that are seeing this. This is the sphere that you're going to reach by doing what you're doing, which is super important. So I would say to another person that was going to do any type of advertising, to be consistent in what you do, be willing to take a part of your paychecks and invest it back into your company. It's so hard, right? Everybody gets this paycheck and like, oh my God, I got the water bill, electric bill, I got this bill, and I got to pay staff, and I got all these bills to pay. But you have to reinvest. You have to continue to grow. You have to continue to reinvent. As markets change and things change, you have to change with those. And the best way to do it is by advertisement, is by showing who you are, doing stuff like this, working with your extended business partners. When I say extended business partners, I mean like, your radio stations, your living magazines, your Zillows, or whoever you're dealing with as far as extending that reach.
And I think what you said, it's something that we kind of build off of. It seems like it's more of, yes, you're our client, but we build a relationship with you. It's not, here's your ad, give us the money, we don't talk to you for months. We want to build our relationship, just like you do with your customers. I think that's huge, and I love that you guys do that, and I love the partnership that we have.
No, me too. It doesn't work without it. I can tell you, I get constant calls from magazines, or they want to put our picture on a scorecard for a which is great. I'm not going to down anything. What works for one person may not work for the other, but it's really not hard to figure out what's working, what's not. The numbers don't lie, but there are some things that you're not getting. So say I send out a My Living magazine to a neighborhood consistently. I may not just get the call directly from that, but that's part of the call coming in. It's part of the recognition that people are saying, man, they keep seeing the face, they keep seeing the name, they keep seeing the face, and they may have called on something else, but it's because of the recognition that comes from everything you're doing. So I think you can't just say, I've been doing this for 10 months, I haven't got one call on this, but I've gotten 10 calls that were kind of mysterious calls. Well, they came from that? So you really have to look at that and look at what you're doing and evaluate this. You just can't throw money away, but you have to evaluate what you're doing. And for us, I think that what we've zoned in on and what we're comfortable with is what we're doing now.
Yeah, the front end of what you do, the building a relationship, that's where, what I do well is going out and kind of being the face and doing what I do in the marketplace. And then the important part for you is every time I buy a house, the amount of paperwork that comes with that house is huge. Like it's daunting, and I've never liked it, but I've also had people that I've worked with that don't make that easy for us. How do you guys go about that with customers like me? When you know that I'm not going to like that, but there's an inch and a half worth of paperwork, and how important is that in the process?
Well, there's a couple steps to that question. One is I never got in this business to worry about the blue sheet, the purple sheet, the green sheet. It's not really my thing. I would just, I don't know too many salespeople that build relationships and do sales that are fantastic in paperwork. I mean, it's tough. So I think, again, the separation from us is that we've invested in that. We've Kaylin Thomas is our admin. She is our coordinator at our office for our team. So with 9-10 years experience working with us, that understands what needs to go in on a timely manner, what needs to go to clients. I think, again, it's advising your client correctly with the right tools, giving them the education that they can use to help them go through the process. It's so scary, right, when you come into something and the process is unknown, and you don't know what's going to happen next week.
Right.
But so you'll get a timeline from us. A pretty accurate timeline is going to give you dates and times that you could follow throughout the process. It's like a schedule for you to say, okay, on this date I got this, on this date I got this. And how much better is that for you? I mean, how much stress does that take out of you? Just that simple thing. Not only the timeline as far as that goes, but then it's the calls. It's the Hey, how are you doing? Can I help you with this? Is is your HOA and is your estoppel coming in? Have you talked to the attorney's office? How did the inspection go? Do you got repairs being made? This is with experience that you know who to call, when to call, what time to do all this. You can if you don't do this correctly, you can have somebody in a box truck moving without a closing, and that's not going to happen. Just imagine. Imagine you boxed up your whole house, you got it all in the truck, and you're driving to Iowa, and your realtor calls you and says, "Man, 2 weeks ago I missed this form, and we're not closing."
Ouch.
Man,
Yeah.
imagine that phone call. So we try to avoid that, and I think experience will tell you that go with somebody that's experienced. Don't try your brother's sister's recommendation of the girl that just got her license or the guy that just got their license. Go with somebody that's experienced. I try to tell all the agents that are newer, find a mentor. Find somebody in the business that you can learn from. You could be a part of. Join a team. So you're going to learn faster, and you're going to go to get answers. This isn't a game to play with people's biggest investment in their life.
Yeah, no kidding. It's stressful enough, And I think that with doing that paperwork that way, I've actually walked away from a deal because it made me uncomfortable. It just wasn't smooth. It wasn't a smooth deal, and nobody really told me when or where. It was just, here it's now, and they hurried me, kind of scurried through the process. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Let's talk about this a little bit. It's important.
A lot of fine print.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's building this team, and it's not just the internal team that we're building. It's building people that we know, that it's attorneys, it's closing companies, it's having good inspectors for your client to choose from. It's moving companies, it's handyman. I mean, there's so much to this that if you think it's just going in and showing a bathroom and walking out and writing a contract, you're really in the wrong business. But if you understand that this is of such a big scope of relationships, and finding the right team that has the best relationships built, and looking back and thinking, man, 21 years of building those relationships, I'm probably going to go with that team.
We are, excited for you, and we're excited that you are a customer of ours, and we appreciate your business and all that you do in the community.
It's our extended family with My Living Magazine means a lot to us.